Okay. And I think that intro that I always do to these is quite apt for what we just watched, because that was just that. Okay. Not good, not bad. Well, there are some bad things, and I will talk about those. But not particularly an inspiring result. And to be honest, as the title of the stream suggests, I feel absolutely nothing. Um, I'm just completely numb to it now. There's no reason to no reason for me to kind of bring any more energy than that. Honestly, I just feel absolutely nothing. Whenever I watch this team, whenever a goal goes in, whenever we concede, I don't have any reaction. I sit there and stare at the screen and don't have a single feeling go through my body. Um, so let me do my routine checks as always. Uh, get this. That's working. Okay, pause that. My chat is closed again. YouTube really needs to fix this, because I don't do this on Twitch. On Twitch, if you have pop-out chat, it stays popped out once you reload your stream. It doesn't do that on YouTube. Okay, well, okay, I can now see the I can see the chat now. Hello guys, welcome in. Oh my word. I don't know what to say, honestly. I feel like I'm repeating myself every single time that we have one of these streams. And ironically, a lot of my points that I'm going to be making in this one are pretty much things that I said against Leeds, except for we didn't get the miracle 90th minute winner. It's pretty much the exact same game. And yeah, so I'll hit the intro here, and we'll get straight into this, I guess. God, Jesus, what have we become?
Lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mono from Mono CFC, and welcome to Feeling Blue.
Okay. I thought I had more time for my intro. I was at midway through a sip of my coffee. Okay. Welcome to Feeling Blue. As always, we will be going through the last match, and with my lucky number 7 things, I'll be going through from good feelings to bad feelings. And actually, I say 7 things. That's actually a lie. I am going to be doing 6 things in this one, because I genuinely couldn't come up with another player or event that was worth mentioning. So if you guys have a suggestion for that after we've done the 6 points, I'll let you decide. And then of course, as always, we'll crown our true blue at the end, and I'm pretty sure who everyone's going to pick, because it's the same person that I would pick, and I think we're all on the same page with that. Let's start with the one thing that I kind of enjoy doing about watching Chelsea nowadays, and that's the bingo card. So I'm going to bring this in. It's not on screen. Yeah, lovely. We'll do the bingo card. I said this is the only thing that the bingo card's the only thing that brings me joy watching our team anymore. It's like, oh look, that's it. I can check that off. Okay, so let's go from the left corner to the bottom right corner. Mudryk Spark. And I don't get to talk about him because he's not one of my points, so I'm glad that I did actually bring this, because I did want to talk about Mudryk. I think it's an absolute criminal offence that Poch has not played Mudryk from the start in this game after his performance. I think it's even more of a criminal offence that he only gave him 20 minutes off the bench, and to be quite honest, if I was him, I would be looking for a move away from Chelsea. I genuinely would. What more can he do to get into this team? I genuinely don't get it. He never plays, and then the only time he does get opportunities, he plays well, and then he's immediately benched and doesn't get any more time. And I feel like it's completely harsh on him. We didn't get to see the Mudryk Spark because he didn't play. Giant hole in midfield, and somehow, despite playing this 3/5 at the back system, we still saw this. Especially in the first half. We didn't see it as much in the second half. We saw this really badly in the first half, mainly the first 30 minutes of the game. Caicedo just isolated in the middle with absolutely no help. Enzo running up the pitch in a left forward position for some reason and just completely abandoning him, and it's just having no build up, no players next to each other, no ability to play short passing, 5 players just standing on the final line of the defenders and not offering themselves, and it's just I'm bored of it. I'm genuinely bored of it. Tap in. Did we have a tap in this game? One of their goals was pretty scrappy. I wouldn't call it a tap in, but I mean it was kind of on the line for Roslev, so we'll take this one. Chilwell Alonso sesh. Now this was in fact the complete opposite. I think Chilwell was utterly awful in this game. Not because I think that he played particularly badly, I just don't think he played at all, really. He just didn't feel like he was trying, which is weird because we're so used to Chilwell being that player that bombs up and down the left wing and is always so attack-minded. He didn't have that in this game at all, and he didn't really have any defensive things. He was very, very mid, and he just didn't feel like he was even on the pitch, if I was being honest, so this didn't happen. Tony dunks on us. Now, Tony didn't score, but he was causing our defence an absolute issue every time the ball went up to him, so I'm going to count this. Every time the ball went up to Tony, we didn't contest it. Late winner. We didn't get a late winner. We got a late equaliser, I guess that counts. Bob Marley chant. Now, this is really funny because we got a Bob Marley chant, and then we got an ironic Bob Marley chant afterwards when we went 2-1 down. Own goal / deflected. We didn't have this. We didn't get the Gilchrist passion session. That's unfortunate. Chalabar did play, and to be honest, I don't think he really covered himself in much glory. Palmer goal / assist. Yep, we got this. He got the assist for one of the for DSRC's goal. Another injury. I don't think we got another injury, which is one of the only things we can actually take from this game as a good thing, is that we didn't get another injury. Jackson disallowed goal. This didn't happen. Petrovic crucial save. I thought he got one of these at the end, but it actually came off the post on the replay, so this didn't happen. 2-0 is correct, no. Sterling starts, yes. No, Sterling didn't start, did he? Sterling came on afterwards. Concede from a set piece, well, I mean, pretty much. We can... I can't really remember, like, the start of their goals, but I know that pretty much all of their chances came from long throws, so I'm just going to count this regardless. We didn't have 2 goalkeepers on the bench, which was nice to see. Screamer, I'm going to count this for Wissa's goal, and I said this on Twitter, right, and this is ridiculous. Before this game, Wissa had, out of all strikers in the league, he has the worst conversion rate, period. The worst conversion rate. From amount of shots to goals converted, he has the worst record in the entire league, and I said on Twitter, he's got the worst conversion rate in the league, watch him score against us. Mystic Mac strikes again, and what happens? He scores of all things, not just scoring a goal, he scores an absolute rocket of a bicycle kick. So there we go. Can't really say more than that. Yeah, Screamer. Cassidy exists. He apparently doesn't, because despite our players being absolutely knackered in the midfield and then playing 90 minutes every single game, he didn't come off the bench, which is really stupid. Jackson scores again. We got this. We did get Jackson scoring again, which is good. VAR is useless. We didn't really have any kind of issues with the referees today. I do think some of the decisions that the referee made were a bit like just kind of the standard. That wasn't a foul from Caicedo, but it gets given because they just get conned by the fans all the time, referees. Late sub from Pochettino, yep. 2 late subs from Pochettino, actually. Chelsea's injuries don't count. Now, I'm going to count this one just because I did hear the commentary team talk about Brentford's injuries and say how they have this many players out, especially with their backline, and they didn't mention the fact that we have the same amount of players out. It just never seems to be an issue when it's us. So there, we didn't really get anything this match, so which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe I should organise the the points into more kind of achievable patterns, but there we go. Enough of that waffle. We'll get straight into the actual points. as I said, I will always start with the goods and then go to the bads and then end up with the goods. I do have more good points than bad points, but that's just because the bad point is just 1 point, and I'm going to kind of ramble on for a bit. So let's start with the first good, and I'm going to be giving it to Nicholas Jackson. Obviously, he got his goal. He got the first goal, which gets us in the lead, and especially after missing that very glaringly obvious chance. I always say it's fine for you to miss your first chance. It's understandable if you miss your second, but it's completely criminal, and it's not excusable if you miss your third. He scores on his second chance, which is good to see. And as I said, it's very difficult to keep your concentration in those situations when you have missed a glaringly obvious chance. For him to kind of keep going and get his goal is really good. Very, very good header. Even better is the cross from Gusto, and I'll talk about him in a second. Yeah, but I felt really bad for Jackson because I feel bad for Jackson because he was so isolated in this game, and he's always isolated. In truth, he is always isolated as our striker because he never gets any support. But even in that first half, we had 5 defenders on the pitch, 4 midfielders on the pitch, and the only attacker was Nicholas Jackson, and somehow he still scores. And I'm going to take it to the grave that he is one of our best players this season. I've been sticking by him since the start, and everyone was yelling at him and saying, "Oh, how has he missed this? How has he missed this? How has he missed this?" But then he shuts them up with a bullet header, and it's good to see him scoring. He's now got 11 goal contributions, I believe, which is really good for him. And I think that he is just going to keep scoring if he keeps getting into those positions. I felt like the rest of the team kind of let him down, really. And I don't think that's actually the rest of the team's fault. I think that's more to do with the actual setup and the fact that he was just left as the sole striker on his own and didn't have anyone a la a Mudryk or a Madueke or those types of more offensive midfield / winger players that we have on the bench were just completely ignored, and he was just kind of left up top to do what he did. And obviously he always causes a nuisance. Whenever he's up there, he runs his absolute socks off every single game, and especially being the only striker in the team now, because for some reason David Washington has been demoted to the under-21s, which is crazy because he's scoring for fun down there. I feel like it's even more impressive that he is just constantly running, and he must be absolutely shattered trying to carry the press on his own. We'll move into the midfield. The medium box. Man, you can tell my brain scrambled off this one. But going into the medium box, and I'm going to be giving it to Axel Disasi. I mentioned this in the last one that I did, where I reserved this box for players that either have very good performances and have one massive mistake in them, or have very terrible performances and have one good redeeming quality. In the last one we did, that was the former. In this one for Disasi, it's the latter. I think he was utterly abysmal in this game. The defending for the first goal is utterly abysmal, and I cannot excuse it despite me loving this guy so much. But of course he does get the equalizer, so I have to bump him up. In general, the defending as a whole was horrific in this game, and that is going to be my first bad point, and we'll move swiftly on to the bads. Defending in this game was just absolutely abysmal. I've never seen anything like it, especially when it's annoying when it's predictable. When we're predictably bad at defending things, that's when it annoys me, because I said in my preview, I said we need to be better at defending from balls into the box, we need to be better at defending from set piece situations. And we weren't. We were terrible. In fact, I think we were actually worse this game at defending those situations than we were in the reverse fixture when they beat us 2-0. And that's despite Poch putting us into this 3 at the back system where we have 3 centre-backs on the pitch and still somehow can't defend a ball into the box. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand it. Colwill, always, as I mentioned before, always watching the man and not the ball and getting caught under the ball. Disasi was really, really slow in this game and wasn't up to speed as he usually is. Chalobah is obviously coming off the back of a really big injury, so I don't blame him that much, but he wasn't putting himself out there very well either. Also, just a bit weird for Chalobah to be playing as the central centre defensive, the centre back / defensive mid, because he kind of steps into the midfield. I know that's kind of the reason why he was played there, because he is out of the defenders that we do have, he is the one that is more comfortable in the midfield area. But I don't know why he's not playing on the right hand side, where he's played for numerous occasions under different managers. And obviously Disasi is much more of a bulky in the centre back, and I don't know why he's not playing in the centre, and he's playing on the side where wingers can run at him and get the better of him because he's not the paciest. Just a calamity all around, and it's, as I said, every single one of our defenders, except for one player, and he will be the next player I'll mention, in our defensive line was utterly abysmal, and I cannot give them any more than that as my evaluation for them. Let's get on to that player, and this is the player who I believe is the player of the match, and that's for Malo Gusto, because my god, this man was carrying our team on his back this entire game. He seemed like the only player on the pitch that actually gave a shit. Like, genuinely the only player that looked like he cared, only player that wanted to run up the pitch, wanted to get assists, wanted to get involved, wanted to win, wanted to defend. No one wanted to defend in this game except for Gusto, genuinely. And it's just, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of him being forced to be this really, really good. I'm sick of him like every single game having to be like making up for everyone else. And he has played so many minutes, and I mentioned this in my preview that I said that he could be rotated out because he has played so many minutes. And he still, despite playing all those minutes and being absolutely shattered, is better than all of our other defenders combined. He was an absolute steal. I think we got him for what, 25 million? 25, 30 million? Absolute bloody steal for Malo Gusto. And to be quite honest, I fear for James coming back. You know, we've seen the videos recently of James in the gym, looking very lean, I must say, looking ready to get back once his injury woes are over with and he's rehabbed and all that. I don't think he gets back in the team. I genuinely don't think he gets back in the team over Gusto. I think Gusto now has 7, or maybe is it 8 assists? An absolutely amazing signing, and just, I can't speak any better of him because he's just been consistently good every single game. And what he really reminds me of, and I think this is the best way I can praise him, he reminds me of that period of games where we had with Azpilicueta, where Azpilicueta as a right back was just giving you a 7 or 8 or 9 out of 10 every single match day for the entire season. I think that Gusto is doing that right now. And yes, he's had a few kind of iffy games. Obviously, the main one is the one where he got red carded, which I still don't think is a red card. Yeah, he's just been stupendous throughout the entire season. He's the one shining light in this team, other than maybe Palmer and Jackson. So there's that. I don't have another medium, so I'm going to move into the bad. And as I said, I've only got 6 points, so we'll see if we can collectively come up with a 7th point. I'm going to be putting in Poch, and it's literally for the exact same reasons that I said last time with the Leeds game. Just weird defensive changes, weird late substitutions, in-game management being awful. Every single time we go into the break a goal up, we come out from the second half looking worse than we did in the first half. As I said, this tactical setup of going to the 3-5-2 didn't work. We sat there stagnant for 30 minutes and then got another piece of individual brilliance from Gusto and Jackson, just bailing Poch out for his awful tactics. And then when we did start playing a bit better, obviously, again, we just didn't really create much of anything, and our goal came from another piece of brilliance from Cole Palmer, putting it on a plate for Disasi. And to be honest, I don't think we even get that second goal if the sun isn't in Flecken's eyes, because we saw from that second half, like, the goalkeeper couldn't see. He was standing there the entire game with his hand up in the air trying to block the sun. I don't think we get that if we're on the other end of the pitch, honestly, so that's a bit lucky. And as I said, I think now he's completely lost the fans as well. We saw in the away end them chanting some very derogatory things in his direction, chanting for the former owner of the club, chanting for different managers like Jose Mourinho. I think he's completely lost the plot. And right now, people always like to say that a draw is a point gained. I will never, ever say that a draw is a point gained. We are Chelsea Football Club. Anything that is not a win is points lost. We have lost 2 points, not gained 1 in this scenario. We are still mid-table. It doesn't seem like there's any chance of us getting up towards the other teams that are above us. There's no reason for us to even think about getting Europe in that way. I think the only way we can get Europe is through the FA Cup. Do I think that he's the right manager to get us through the FA Cup final? Do I fuck? Because he is awful at anything when it comes to winning games in big games. He's a serial loser, and even when he had a very, very good team like PSG, he was a serial loser. So there we go. I've spoken my piece on this guy multiple times and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Just assume pretty much every single match day that he's going to be in this box, even though from now on, I'm going to say this, I'm not putting him in this box anymore, because I'm sick of talking about him, and I'm not going to talk about him anymore. The last person that I'm going to be putting in as my own points will be for another good. It's going to be for Cole Palmer. I mentioned him earlier. These three in the team are like the only good sparks in this team at the moment. Despite him, obviously he got the assist for Disasi's goal, but apart from that, I do think that he was one of the only players that was actually trying to get us back into the game, especially in that second half. He was, or the latter stages of the second half, he was really trying to pick up the ball and like create things. And yeah, we just see him every single game being another one of the ones that we can actually rely on. One of the players that is actually very consistent, and it's that consistency that's key. And we start to get some consistency from a few players, and that being these guys, pretty much no one else. And that's kind of what we want. I think Palmer, he's into, I don't even remember what he is in for goals and assists now. I think he's our top goal contributor still, obviously getting another assist as he always does in this game. And I think he was just by far, out of all of our players that were in the midfield, I think he was our best player. I don't think Enzo and Caicedo had the best game in truth, but then again, I didn't really pay that much attention. I think Caicedo was trying to break things up, but then again, I think he's kind of at fault for the first goal or the second goal rather, whichever one it is. I don't know which goal it was. It's all a blur to me now because I genuinely just clocked out. But yeah, so I'm not sure. Is there anyone? Hang on, let me move my. I need to move my bingo card. So is there anyone that you guys think should be put into any of these boxes? It doesn't have to be a good player. It can be a medium player or a bad player. If there's anyone that you think deserves to be in here, then we can go for that. In fact, I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to put Chilwell in the bad because I think he was genuinely that bad in this game. Colwell didn't get himself into much good either. But then again, I kind of just like include them in this defensive point. I'm gonna actually I want us to check the stats for those two midfielders because I think Enzo was rather poor. Let me just check that real quick. I just want to see. I just want to see because I just don't know. So obviously, my confirmation. I want confirmation whether what I actually saw with my own eyes is actually true. Let's see the lineups. Who played well in this game? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the lineups, and actually, Enzo and Caicedo had a pretty good ratings overall. The one player that has a glaringly bad rating that I can see from our lineup there is actually Chilwell. So I'm gonna put Chilwell into the bad, especially as well. I did think when I first kind of mentioned him, I did think that he had a poor game, but like he had a really, really poor game. It has been kind of confirmed. So I'll put Chilwell in there, and as I said, I'm not going to yap on too much because this is this is a result that's just kind of depressing, and I just want to kind of get over. As always, I'm going to put up the poll for the True Blue, so you guys can vote on who you think was your player of the match. I think it's pretty obvious who we're kind of going to be voting for here, but I'll put the three options there. There we go. Boom, there we go. So I've just seen someone's asked what app am I using. This is just the default Microsoft Whiteboard app. And it's actually really good. I didn't expect it to be very good, so that's what I'm using. Yeah, I've also seen that. Yeah, Enzo. That's part of the reason why I didn't want to put Enzo in one of the boxes, because I think Enzo playing poorly has got absolutely nothing to do with his own ability. I think it is genuinely a system thing. The fact that he is constantly running into left forward positions and being the final man rather than being deep and getting on the ball is kind of bizarre, and it's just impacting his game as a whole. So I can never be too harsh on him, and obviously he came off. Oh, the ratings for the app. Oh, I wasn't using the ratings. I wasn't using an app. I just searched up on Google. You can see them on the actual like official like the game summary, there's lineups, and it gives you ratings. He got a Chilwell, so I can go through them actually whilst we're here. So Jackson got a 4.1. This is all out of 5 stars, I believe. Jackson got 4.1, Palmer got 4.2, Enzo 4.1, Caicedo a 4.3, Gallagher got 4, Gusto got 4.3, Colwell got a 4, Petrovic got a 4.1, Disasi got a 4.2, but his rating is massively buffed by the fact that he got the goal. Chalobah got a 3.6 and Chilwell got a 3.8, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So our team was pretty mid overall, so woo. Do you think Gusto or James moves to left back when James comes back? I don't think that that's actually going to happen. Genuinely, I think that I wouldn't, and this is kind of an annoying thing, is that I think the only solution to our defensive problems in that fullback area is actually buying a new left back, because I don't want Gusto to be playing left back because that's a waste of his talents. And I think having that strength in depth, one of the things that we kind of see from the top teams in this league, like your Liverpools, like your Man Cities. Man City is the prime example of this, is that they have strong players in every single position, especially on the bench as well. So like, for example, they lose John Stones, but they've got a Kanji, that type of thing. And I think Gusto and James can be that, where it's when you can't rely on one of them to be fit, you can rely on the other. So I think that's kind of what we have to do there. I wouldn't want to, if I was going to try and force James and Gusto into one lineup, I would play us in a kind of 3 at the back system with James as a right centre back, but obviously playing a bit more offensively. But I don't think that's a very good solution to our problems either, if I'm being honest. Let's see how the poll is doing. Yeah, I think it's a pretty unanimous vote that Gusto is going to be taking the true blue, and as I said, I expected that. I think he was by far our player of the match, so I'll put him up here. And as I said, I'm not going to bore you guys too much with the rest of the ramble. I'll just check what our schedule's looking like. I think we've got a little bit of a break between now and the next game. Let me check that real quick. We have Newcastle on Monday, the 11th of March. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of time. So we've got a big break. I'll leave you guys to get to your evenings, and I'll hit the outro here in a second. Thanks for hanging out as always. I'll be back with another preview, and I'll probably tactically analyze this as well. I might do a tactical breakdown for this game because it is a very interesting game in terms of what kind of went wrong, and I think it is something that I can delve deep into. Obviously, I'll probably take a little bit of a break because this game has absolutely ruined me mentally, if I'm being honest. But there we go. As I said, thank you guys for voting in the poll and for sticking around. And yeah, as always, we move on. I'll hit the outro now, and you guys have a good evening, as always.
But that was just my Feeling Blue match review for this week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this match in the comment section below, and if you'd be so kind, subscribe to the channel and leave the video a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, or check out some of the other videos on the channel on screen right now. I've been Mono from Mono CFC, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.